I stepped off the plane feeling surprisingly refreshed after 2 incredible weeks in Thailand. Temples, street food, secluded beaches. It had been the perfect escape from the grind of my high-stress consulting job and from the constant pettiness of life in Pinehurst Estates. All I wanted now was to collapse into my own bed and sleep off the jet lag. But as my Uber pulled into the neighborhood, something felt off. There was a police car in my driveway. At first I panicked. Had someone broken in while I was gone? But then I noticed a family standing casually on my front porch. A man, a woman, 2 kids. They looked at home. The woman was holding a set of keys. My keys. Dragging my suitcase behind me, I walked up, trying to make sense of what I was seeing. "Excuse me," I said, approaching. "What's going on? This is my house." The officers turned toward me with cautious eyes. One stepped forward. "Sir, this family called us. They say you're trying to break into their home. Can we see some ID?" I blinked, stunned. "Wait, what? This is my house. I've lived here 6 years." The man on the porch furrowed his brow. "We bought this place 2 weeks ago. We have the deed, the sale paperwork. We moved in yesterday." I pulled out my passport, hands trembling. There must be a mistake. I never put this house up for sale. But when I looked through the window, I felt my stomach drop. My furniture, gone. My photos, my books, my life, gone. In their place were unfamiliar couches, sealed boxes, and signs of someone else's fresh start. One of the officers, a stern woman with a hand resting near her weapon, stepped forward. "Sir, please step back. These people have legal documents showing ownership of this property." "I can prove it's mine," I protested, voice rising in panic. "I've got mortgage statements, tax records. Everything's on my phone." But I could already feel it, the shift. The officers didn't believe me. The family looked scared, and I looked like a maniac screaming on the porch of what used to be my own home. What was happening? Before I left, everything was in perfect order. Mortgage on autopay, mail held at the post office, lawn service scheduled. There was only one loose end, a letter from the HOA president, Karen Wilkinson, about the color of my mailbox. Charcoal gray, she'd written, was not community approved. It was supposed to be slate gray. It was laughable at the time. Typical Karen, obsessive, overbearing, constantly wielding her clipboard like a badge of authority. She had fined me for grass that was half an inch too long and once measured the spacing of my holiday lights with a ruler. But this was something else entirely. As if on cue, a familiar white SUV pulled up to the curb. Out stepped Karen, blonde bob, perfectly set, clipboard in hand, and that smug smile I'd come to dread. "Officers," she called, strutting toward us. "I see the intruder has returned." I turned to her, stunned. "Karen, what the hell is going on?" She gave me a pitying look. "This property was abandoned, sir. The HOA followed legal protocol to recover 6 months of unpaid dues and sold the home at auction." "Abandoned?" I barked. "I was gone for 2 weeks." Karen's voice dropped an octave. "Our records show otherwise." I was frozen in disbelief. I had never missed a payment. Ever. The officers, to their credit, were starting to look skeptical. But they urged me to leave and contact an attorney. The next 48 hours were a blur. I checked into a hotel, made call after call until I found someone who could help. Jessica Ramirez, a local attorney who specialized in HOA disputes. She listened quietly as I told her everything. When I finished, she leaned forward, face tight. "This isn't a misunderstanding," she said. "This is fraud. And if we don't act fast, it's going to get worse." With Jessica's help, we assembled every shred of evidence: bank records, travel documents, emails, witness statements from neighbors. We also requested public documents tied to the so-called sale of my house. What we found was staggering: forged letters, faked inspection reports, false notices of unpaid fees and abandoned property, a fraudulent auction, and all of it traced back to one person, Karen Wilkinson. Even worse, this wasn't the first time. 2 other homes in Pinner's Estates had been sold the same way in the last year. One belonged to a deployed service member, another to a woman caring for her dying mother out of state. Karen had been targeting people who were away, people who couldn't defend themselves. Then we discovered the kicker. Karen's sister-in-law was the real estate broker behind the quick sale transactions. Together, they had been splitting commissions from every shady deal. When we brought everything to the district attorney, they were hesitant. Until we showed the pattern, it wasn't just one fraud, it was a criminal conspiracy. Things moved fast after that. A local news station ran the story. HOA president accused of orchestrating real estate fraud scheme. It went viral. Neighbors began coming forward. People I barely knew. All of them with stories. Fines, threats, intimidation. One former board treasurer turned over records showing Karen had been embezzling HOA funds for years. Then came the search warrant. Police raided Karen's home and the HOA office. Inside, they found folders detailing homeowners' travel schedules, financial histories, and potential targets. My house was just one of many. The family who had unknowingly moved into my stolen home was horrified. Thankfully, the court voided the sale, and the HOA's insurance covered their losses. I was allowed back in, but most of my things were gone forever. Then came the moment we'd all been waiting for. During a tense HOA meeting, mid-denial, Karen was arrested in front of the entire neighborhood. Cameras rolled as officers cuffed her and read her rights. Her smug smirk finally cracked. "This is a mistake," she shrieked. "I was protecting property values. You should be thanking me." No one thanked her. She was charged with multiple counts of fraud, forgery, grand theft, conspiracy, and money laundering. Prosecutors sought the maximum sentence, 25 years and over $1 million in fines. Karen's perfectly manicured mask shattered in court. When the judge denied her bail, she collapsed in tears. No clipboard, no power, just another criminal in an orange jumpsuit. And me, I got my home back. But I'll never look at an HOA the same way again.